In an age before the flood, before Moses, before Abraham, there walked a man named Enoch. He did not rule a kingdom. He never fought a war. He wrote no psalms. He carried no divine staff. And yet, he disappeared into the arms of God himself. For Enoch walked with God, and was not, for God took him. That single verse in Genesis 5:24 thunders through the corridors of time. It's a whisper and a trumpet. It's mystery and revelation. It's a summons to holiness. It's a warning to the wicked. And it is a model for the few who dare to walk upstream. Enoch was the seventh generation from Adam, a direct descendant of Seth, the son of promise. His great-grandfather was Enoch, and his great-great-grandfather was the one who first began to call upon the name of the Lord. But by Enoch's day, men no longer called upon God. They cursed him, mocked him, ignored him. The world was slipping into ruin. The bloodlines of Cain prospered in pride, pleasure, and invention. Cities rose. Weapons gleamed. Idols stood in every marketplace. The world drunk on itself and allergic to reverence. Yet in the midst of this swelling corruption, there came a still man. Not loud, not popular, but watched. Because something in Enoch was otherworldly. He was righteous in a world that celebrated rebellion. He was faithful in a generation that worshipped flesh. He was focused in a culture of distraction. Day by day, year by year, he did what almost no one else did. He walked with God, not beside him as a peer, not ahead of him as a rebel, but behind him as a follower. This walk was no romantic stroll. The journey wasn't easy. The walk cost him everything, but it gave him everything. Because to walk with God is to say, I trust you when I cannot see. I follow you when I do not feel. I believe you when I do not understand. And Enoch believed. He heard the voice of God in the silence of the wilderness. He saw glimpses of divine light flicker behind the veil. He felt the tug of heaven even as the world tugged harder. And yet, he chose obedience. Again, and again, and again. When his neighbors mocked his devotion, he walked with God. When his family questioned his faith, he walked with God. When the world shouted, live for now, he walked toward eternity. And then, one day, the walk never ended. God took him. No grave, no funeral, no decay, just gone. But his story wasn't over. Because Enoch was not merely a mystic. He was a prophet, the first prophet recorded in Scripture. Jude 14 declares, Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied, saying, Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000s of his holy ones, to execute judgment on all. Long before Noah's flood, long before Sinai's law, long before Christ's cross, Enoch warned a sleeping world. Judgment is coming, and not just with water, but with fire. Enoch foresaw the second coming of the Messiah. He saw the return of the king before the king had ever come. He saw the holy ones descending, not in peace, but in justice. He spoke of angels who had defiled their station, about men who followed them into corruption, about giants born of rebellion, about a world beyond saving, except by divine interruption. And he cried out, not with a whisper, but with boldness. He was not afraid to offend. He was not trying to build a platform. He did not measure his words by applause. He feared God, and God alone. And that fear made him wise. That fear made him holy. That fear made him walk. Every morning, he rose early, not to chase wealth, not to impress crowds, but to walk with God, one step at a time, one prayer at a time, one breath of obedience. And though his name was not great in his own day, it echoes now with power. The writer of Hebrews records, by faith, Enoch was taken so that he did not see death, and he was not found, because God had taken him. For before he was taken, he had this testimony, that he pleased God. To walk with God is to please him, and to please him is to be known by him. Enoch's testimony wasn't wealth, not followers, not legacy. This is what it was. He pleased God, and that is enough. More than enough. That is everything. Enoch's walk was a quiet resistance to the noise, a steady defiance of compromise, a living sermon in a dying world. His life preached without words. His disappearance thundered louder than 1,000 voices. And here we are, generations later. Floods have come. Nations have risen and fallen. Kings have ruled. Empires have crumbled. And still, the walk of one man remains a beacon. You do not need a platform to please God. You do not need perfect theology to walk with him. You need faith. You need reverence. You need surrender. You do not need to be seen by men. You need to be known by heaven. So walk when you are tired, when you are mocked, when you feel alone, when your name is forgotten by the world, but remembered by God. Walk within your home, within your thoughts, within your choices, within your daily labor. Walk when it's inconvenient. Walk when it costs you everything. Walk like Enoch. Because to walk with God is to slowly leave the world behind. Live like heaven is already your home. Carry the aroma of eternity. Be ready at any moment for God to say, "That's enough. Come home." And when that day comes, whether by chariot, by flame, or by still small breath, may you be found walking, not sitting in complacency, not running toward pleasure, but walking with God, one foot in front of the other, one moment at a time, until you are no more, because God took you. Just like Enoch. Like, subscribe, and share for more Bible insights.